Okay, so the first one is okay CTE table syntax. Okay, so what we have written, it's very simple. Okay, if you see here, when you are using, whenever it is starting with you know with function here, it means that it is the CTE table syntax. It means the CTE is nothing but common table expression. Okay, and what it does, whenever you are executing this query, this entire query, okay, first it will run the with the alias of recent orders, and whatever the query inside we have, that will execute first. And once it is executed, the result of this query, it will be stored under this alias. Okay. After that, the same table being used below. You see here. Okay. From this is our target table, and this target table is became source here, right? And this is the source table, and this is the target table. The target table became here source. Once this is completely executed, all the, if you have 1 million record, all the 1 million records being stored under this table. Okay, and once it is executed, once this is completed, the execution of this query, and the result set will be stored here. After that, again this will be executed, and once this is also executed, then the data will be stored under customer total. And from the customer total here, it is the target table, and this is the source table. And once it is executed, then you need to do you need to do the insert into any one of the table or perform the select star to print the data. So this target will be being used here to view the data, okay, using the select statement. Okay, so these things, generally these things you can achieve by using the subqueries as well. How? I will write this query into the subquery. Okay, so you see now. Now, which one is running first? This one is running first. So what I will do, this query I'll take it. I'm just pasting here. What is this? Select order ID, customer ID, date from orders table, this one, right? Now, on top of that, okay, I will use these details. Okay, how I will use these details? I'll take this select statement and I'll copy paste here, and then open bracket and group by come down, paste it here and apply the group by. It means first you will be executing this query. On top of that, okay, you will be executing this select statement and the group by. Okay, so that once you get the result of this table, then on top of this you will be executing this query. Okay, once it is executed, once this is done, right, again you have a select star from where total order greater than 2. Then what you have to do again? Select star from open bracket and come down, give the where total order greater than or equal to 2. So this way also you can achieve the same query, or you can achieve by using the CTE tables. So here, by seeing this here, by seeing this little bit here means we have only few columns. So that is the reason here you see it is very simple. Okay. But in real time, you will have a 400 columns, 300 columns, 200 columns, sometimes a 700 columns. And at that time, right, what will happen? It will become a bigger query. Okay. So if you are writing a subqueries like this, what will happen? It will be confusing for any other developers. Okay. But the result set will be, you will get the same result set. It is not like that. Okay. But here, first it will be executed inner query. Okay, let me change to language. Okay, first what will happen? This will be executed. Once it is executed, this will be executed. And after that, this will be executed. So either you can write it like this, or directly you can write it like this. Okay. So here, what will happen? Here you will have a clarity which query running first, and what this query contains, and after that what query we have and what query it is executing, and what logic we have, and what is the final query to insert the data or to view the data. So here you will get some clarity by seeing one by one. Okay. And here you have a just all the data in the same inside query. So sometimes it is very difficult for you to check here and there. Okay. This is only the difference between the CTE table and inner query. First thing. Okay. Another one is, if you don't want to do either using the CTE table or using the subquery. Okay. You don't want to do it. Then, okay, you go with the temporary table. Okay. In Snowflake. Okay, first use this separate query and get the result set in the table, and use the another table. Okay. Creating the using the temporary recent orders from the above query, and create another table and use this another query to execute one by one. First you need to execute this one, and after that this one, and after that this one. Something like that you can use. So if you ask me, okay, instead of creating a subqueries, if you divide like this, it will be easy for you. Okay. And it will have a clarity for others as well, because whenever you are writing a query, it should be in the readable format, and understandable, and performanceable. Okay. So these things you need to consider when you are creating the query. So if you ask me, this would be a better approach to creating the using the CTE. Okay. But you have to make sure that, as I discussed yesterday, you have to make sure you are not using the bigger data, terabytes of data. Okay. Because sometimes cache will not have a space to store that much of data. Okay. You have to see alternate approach. Hmm? 1 second. Huh? Just give me Hello, sorry. One second. Give me a minute. Okay. So you can use this like this. Okay. Or if you feel that no something I'm not comfortable with this CTE table, yes, you can go ahead with this table. Okay. You can create like this as well. Okay. Uh, Okay. And I have just taken the differences just now. Okay. If you see using the CTE table and temporary table, what is the difference? Okay. So if you see here, the scope of exists only within the query. It means what? It is very simple. At the time of the query creation, okay, at the time of the query creation, this will be executed and immediately it will vanish. First point, okay. Whenever you are running this query, what will happen? Okay, so generally, first it will hit the select star, right? And once it has hit the select star, immediately it will go to the reference here and the reference here, and then it will stores the data and stores the data, print the value, right? So like this will execute. Then, you know, after completion of this query, immediately whatever the data present in this cache, the data will be vanished. It means the data automatically deleted. If you want to try again immediately this recent orders, select star from recent orders, you will not get the data. Again, you have to execute the CTA, then only you will get. That is the advantage. So that here, by using this CTA, you can save the money actually. Why? Because now the cloud always, you know, it charges based on the your query performance and storage. So you here you are not creating a separate table to store the data. Throughout the day, the data will not be storing here, and it will be used only particular time to keep it and come out, so that you will be paying very less money when you are using the CT tables. And when it comes to the temporal table for the same scope exists for the session until it is dropped. It means if any query, for example, here you have a with recent orders and select statement, and immediately if you have any other query, okay, for example, if you have any other query, here you cannot able to use this here. I mean, after execution of this, you have a separate query. After the semicolon, you have a separate query, and if you are trying to execute, no, you will not get the, it will not execute, because this is associated with this query alone, so that it will execute only here. If you are trying to execute this one, you will not get. Again, what you have to do, for example, if you need to do like this, then you have to use again with here. Maybe query might be bigger in case if you have any requirement like this, query might be bigger, but this will, save the money. It will execute here itself and pull out the data from this. In case if you have a requirement to use multiple times in the query, then go with the temporary table. Why? Temporary table, it will run till the session ID. It means now I have not logged in Snowflake, right? if I log in the snowflake, till I close that session, the temporary table will be available. Once I close the session, then the temporary table will be vanished. So in SPs, in stored procedures, when we execute, right, and you can use those temporary tables in the below queries as well. If you are using CTE table, these CTE tables, whatever we have here, you cannot use those CTE tables under below. For example, as I mentioned, in case you have to use 10 times, 20 times, okay, one temporary some query, okay, you don't want to execute many times. For example, you don't want to execute many times, better then you go with the temporary table. Temporary table will be created till that session is active. Once a section is closed, automatically that will be closed. In case if you have only one time you are using, then go with the CT concept. Okay, so now if you come back here, exit only within the query, exit for the session until it drafts. Reusability cannot be reused outside the query, can be required multiple times in the same session, right? It means in the same session you can use multiple times, but here you see only one time for that query alone. That is the advantage. In case if you want to use the same concept or same logic in the below also, then you go with the temporary table. That is the best idea. So like this, if you are preparing a query, then what will happen? Okay, you will be saving lot of money to the company. Seriously, you will be. And persistence, you see, no storage, purely logical, like a view. Okay, stored in a session memory until explicitly dropped or session ends. See, this will be stored till session. It means if I am running a query till run SP, that SP completed till the time the temporary table will be stored. So this is the best performance. And performance recomputed each time in case if you are using multiple times. Every time it will execute the query. And materialized ones can improve performance if you are reusing 100%, right? In case if you are using more than once, then even I will prefer go with the materialized one. I mean, go with the temporary table. So this is the main difference between the CT table and our temporary table. So in real time, if you are using in the within the same query, okay, for example, now you have a requirement, you have a 20 separate stored procedures, you have a 20 separate stored procedures, but there is a common logic. I have to use 20 procedures, the 20 separate procedures. That time, whether my temporary table or CT will be better to use means no. Why? Because you are using 20 different stored procedures and the same logic you are using in the 20 stored procedures. At that time, I will tell go with the permanent table. Why? Because this concept, I mean this CTE concept, it will be executed only within the query. Temporary table, it will be executed only till that session. Okay, so if you are using different procedures and there you are using same logic, then go with the permanent table or go with the transient table. Transient table is what? Transient table also will be stored till that time, okay, till 1 day or something or 90 days, but you will not have a fail safe. Even I don't require that fail safe logic also. So transient table also better to use. So like this will be helpful. Okay, so you have to think the concept, and if there is any requirement, if you are using multiple times, then it would be better to use these things. Okay, and in case if you are using the table continuously, we have to see my table every time when it is refreshing. Every day, if it is refreshing, then yes, go with the transient table. If it is not refreshing like that, then go with the permanent table. Generally, we will be using permanent table always, but to improve the performance, you have to try these concepts always so that you will be a good developer. Hmm. Everyone will be, you have to show them, right? See, when your manager or your lead will be recognized, you have to show something, right? How the other persons, whatever you go, okay? If you are compromised them, then only they will accept the things. If you are not able to compromise, then they will leave. So here also, if someone wants to recognize, you should have a unique identification. Then only, right? If you will in a team, maybe you will have a 20 employees or a 10 employees or 2 employees. In 2 employees also, if I have to select, you should show me some uniqueness. If you are not showing me something unique, then how would I keep you? Correct? I will tell my higher management saying that, okay, this guy is okay, but I don't think that this guy will be capable for continuing this project. I need this guy if I want to select any one of you guys. Right? So like this. There might be some political things. Okay. If uh, persons are going down or something every time, if you say you are right, and all, then we cannot do anything. Okay, so something like this. Okay, this is the difference between the difference on the temporal table and the CTE table. Okay, and this will be used when we start our project. Any questions here?
Sir, it's clear. Thank you.
Yeah, in case if you have any doubts, better to ask like this. Okay, I will get more examples to explain. Okay, yeah. Okay, now today we are going to discuss about the, okay, we have these topics are still pending. Okay, this is majorly theoretical topics. I will just prefer when we are discussing in the project. Okay, so before that, I wanted to close. There is one more topic called SCDs. Okay, this is a very important topic. It is nothing but a slowly changing dimension. This comes under okay. Under this, right? I'll just go here and I'll show you. Okay. You have to go through these theoretical chapters. Okay. And in case if you have any doubt, you just let me know. Data warehousing concepts. Okay. Data warehousing concepts. Okay. Data warehouse information. So this this much detail, but if you go through this will be very good. Okay. So this is something where we have. I don't think this much details you require, but you have to know what is the difference between OLAP, OLTP. Okay, those things it is very important. Data marking data. Okay, so I'll give you the document. You just go through. As of now, let me connect. Let me discuss the actual topic. Okay. So whatever we have discussed so far, those are sequel portions. And now whatever we are going to discuss, that is real-time project where we are going to use. Okay. And once these concepts are done, then we will start stored procedures. And meanwhile, I will start the kind of a project related uh, procedures as well, how to prepare different types of dimensions and blah blah things. And we will have, I'll give you the I will differentiate the team as well. So using that team, you need to prepare a code as well. Okay. So and one second. Okay. So Rajesh, you will have a call today, right? Okay. Okay. So now, okay. So I'll just explain the what is SCD, and then I'll go to that. Okay. So far we have discussed how to delete the data, how to update the data. Those things we have discussed, right? Okay. Now we are discussing. This is just a theoretical part. Okay. And just using the theoretical part, we are completely, all data warehouse projects are running with this concept only. That is called a data warehousing. Okay, data warehousing is nothing but, okay, I'll just give you an overview. Then we will go with the practical. Data warehousing is nothing but, okay, in the data warehousing, you will be collecting the data from the different sources, okay, and storing the data into a one database. Okay, that is called a data warehouse. Means the data warehouse meaning is collecting the data from the different sources and perform the transformations and load the data into a database. That is called a data warehouse. So here, this is what I have said, right? It is very simple logic, a simple definition of data warehouse, because you need to understand what is data warehouse. It means, I'll take the example here. Okay. So this is my database. Okay. This is my snowflake database. In this, right, if I need a, factor data, fact data, and if I need dimension data, and if I want any country related data, all comes under uh, dimension. Okay, you have some like this different types of tables, and these details you wanted to integrate in your database. Then you will be extracting the data from their system to our system. Same way dimensions and a country. So here you are loading the data here, and the fact data will be loaded under fact table, dimension table data will be loaded under dimension, and the country data will be country, some other tables, blah blah tables. Under this database, you will be creating a multiple tables, and each table it will have a relationship between the each table. You will have a relationship again. compulsory you should have a relation. If there is no relation, then you will not get any columns, or you cannot able to join. Okay, so something like this, you will have a relation. Okay, if this is how, in case if this fact table, all the primary keys from different fact dimensions you will have under this table. All primary keys means one column will have here primary key column, that is unique column here in this table, but here it is a foreign key. What is the difference between primary key and foreign key means? Okay, so generally, okay, you have an employee number, and employee name, okay, job and department number, for example. So under that you will have 1 2 3, okay, ABC, and the software, for example, 10, and 120 124, okay, AB, and this is also software 10. Now this is your primary key column. This is primary key means in this column you should not have any duplicate values, and this is your foreign key. Department number is foreign key column under employee table, and there is a dimension table which is department table, DPT table. There you will have a DPT number, D name, and the location something. Here you will have a 10, ABC, 20, 30, something like this. So this column, it is here primary column, primary key column. The value whatever the column being used in another table, that will become a foreign key. Here it is a primary key, this column is foreign key, and the same column being used, is there in this table, right? This will become your primary key, because in this DPT table it is dimension table, and this will have a uniqueness. For example, in this table, if you have any column which is multiple times repeating, something like this, okay, here in another column, this column will become a foreign key again. So the relationship is nothing but wherever if you see any column which is uniqueness, that is the primary key column. And that same primary key column in any one of the table, if you see more than one time value, that is a foreign key. Something like that we can assume. Okay. So here mainly the concept what we are going to discuss is, okay, mainly SCD. SCD is nothing but slowly changing dimension. Slowly changing dimension. I am not going in detailed because nowadays no one is asking, but for us very important. Maybe some other persons or some interviewer may ask this question as well. So I will just give you the one link. So yeah, just you go through the theoretical part. In case if you get any doubt, you just let me know. Okay. So here majorly this SCD type 1. So here we have generally there are now in different types of SCDs. If you Google it, right, you will get 6 types of SCDs. Okay, but generally in real time we use SCD1 and SCD2. Okay, so SCD1 means what? So you will be keeping only the recent historical data. Recent historical data means what? Means the data you should have only uniqueness. It means, for example, 1, 2, 3, ABC, this guy under, he is in kernel first. Born and brought up, he is in kernel from 2000. Okay. And he, okay, he moved to kernel. He moved to Hyderabad. When, for example, 2025, okay, 01, 01, for example. Then what will happen? Whatever the data present in this table, okay, now he is moving to kernel to Hyderabad, right? Then what will happen? The data, the latest data you will be getting, and let me open Excel better so that you will get more clarity. Okay, so this is your file, and this is your stage table, and this is your dim table. Okay, now in this file you are getting 1, 2, 3. Okay, Rajesh, and he is born and brought up in 2000, 01, 01, and Rajali, for example. Okay, now this data, once it is received through the file, I will be keeping in stage table, and from the stage table I will be storing that information in my final table. Okay, how I will load the data here? The main concept is delete and insert into the table. Using this concept, I will be loading. If my record is matches, then I will delete, or else I will keep. Now, on the day 1, I got this data. Later on, this guy moved to Hyderabad. Now, what I will do? 1, 2, 3, Rajesh, and he moved to Hyderabad in, for example, 2026. For example, 2026, he moved to Hyderabad. Now I will get this date, will the location will be changed now. Where is he now? Hyderabad. Now this record, it will overwrite in stage table. My stage table always flush and fill, flush and fill, truncate and load, insert, overwrite. Okay, I will be keeping this latest data in this file, and when I'm loading the data into this dimension table, then I will join this column and this column. If the column is matches, I will delete the data here, and I will reinsert the data again here. Okay. Now, day after tomorrow, I got a new employee. Okay, with the name of some name Kumar, and he is in Hyderabad. Now, this record will be overwrite here, and here you are performing delete and insert, right? It will just check whether 1 to 4 already existing in this table or not. So we do not have any 1 to 4, so it will not delete any record, and then it will insert the data into this table. Okay, and next day what happened? Some data received. Okay, and with the date of 125, 126, 127. Okay, here also okay, here, okay, some data here. This year changed to February, and he changed to BNG, and these are all guys. Now we got the data like this. Assume. Okay. Now from the file, then what I will do? I will overwrite the data. It is flush and fill, right? I will overwrite the data. Okay. Then here first what I will do? Delete the data. So using this key combination from here, right? And from here, this combination, I will match the record Do I have any matching? When you compare between stage table and dimension table, you have a matching. Which record it is matching? This 124. Then I will delete this one. And do we have a 125? No. Do we have a 126? No. Do we have a 127? No. Then all the data will be inserted. It means you will have all the recent unique data in the dimension table. So when you are keeping like this is nothing but SCD type 1. It means in the SCD type 1, you will be keeping the latest historical information. Latest historical information means how this 123 was updated, later it was not updated, right? So this history we are keeping all the information, okay, not the duplicate data. So we will be keeping all the data like this. So this is called SCD. It means if you get any matching record, you will be deleting that record and inserting updated record only. So this is called a SCD type 1. This SCD type 1, how are you using? Using the delete and insert. Or else, can we use other alternative approach? Yes. Update, else insert. If any record matches, you feel that location is changing, then you update the location by using the update statement. And if the record is not matching, insert the record. So to do that, either you write two different queries or you use a merge statement to perform in single query. That also we will discuss in real time. Okay. So this is how this SCD type 1 it will work. SCD type 1. Now, when it comes to the SCD type 2, what it does? In SCD type 2, there are some additional columns will be there here. What are those additional columns means? Okay, here is number, you have a number, name, right, and date, location, right, start date, and end date, okay, flag, something like this you will have. So now here, first time you got this much data, okay, for example, from the file, okay, from the file you got the same data and the same data was loaded in your stage table, and once you loaded the stage table, then the data, when you are loading this data into a table, okay, in this table, you will be loading start date, means when you are inserting this data, right, you will be creating insert empty timestamp of 2026 and 08 26, and here you will have a 9999 12 and 31st, and this is why. Like this you will be inserting all these current date like this. For example, next day, if we got only 124 as an update, let's assume like this. Okay, this record was inserted on, for example, when this was inserted February. Now this record got updated, for example. This record got updated. Then you are not deleting this record and inserting. No, what you will do, first you will be identifying this record. For example, you got the data in the next day or something by changing the Hyderabad again. Okay, Hyderabad. Now this data will be overwritten in the stage table, and when it comes to the here, you will be checking this first, and the date will be updated. End date will be updated to this date. I mean this date. I mean the current date. Today also current date today only, right? I'm just giving one today date, and the flag will be make this inactive. Then you will be storing this data again here with the again I'll give this like this. It means this is end date. It means now this guy same day what happened? He was shifted first bank Hyderabad. Oh, sorry, Bangalore. Now he changed to Hyderabad. So now you see this will be end date of this one, and if you see the end date of this one is recent. So now this is primary key, correct? Now here it become a duplicate. For that you will have a key called surrogate key. That surrogate key, it will generate unique ID like 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 4, 5. It is showing some date format, but I'm just think like that it is a date. Okay. So like this, the surrogate key will be created. It means the data will be inserted and remaining end date column and flags will be changed to that date. Okay, for example, let's see here this guy was earlier in 25, it was inserted in this table. Now he changed to Hyderabad. Now what will happen? The current date will be updated as end date for the previous record and flag n, and the current record will be inserted as a new record and a flag and default date will be inserted like this. So that whenever if you need any recent data to extract, then you have to use flag y. Then you will get latest data. Or if you want to see the historical information, okay, then you will get this all the data. For example, I'll tell you now real time example I'll take for Aadhaar card. At the time of beginning, you will be creating a Aadhaar card, right? Under Aadhaar card, you will have a date, issue date. You will, if you see the Aadhaar card, right, there you will have a issue date, and first time when you are creating, they will update issue date and what are the details are there in Aadhaar card that will be stored in database. Next, if you are updating location, what they will do, they will not delete the existing information and it will overwrite. They will keep the old information and the latest information by using the SCD type 2, and they will give you the when you are getting the new Aadhaar card, at that time the issue date will be again new issue date they will create. So in case if they want to, for example, you have earlier you are in Kodumur, now you change to Hyderabad. Now in Aadhaar card you wanted to change the Hyderabad location. Then you have to change your address, right? It means Aadhaar card number is primary key, but your address will be changing. Now, in Aadhaar card database, first entry it was in Kodumur. Now you are changing to Hyderabad. That Kodumur, whatever the details are there, that will be present in the database, but they will flag the N to inactivate that, and they will reinsert new address with the flag Y, so that that information only can be enabled. In case if anyone government related employees, if they want to investigate on you, then for example, what they will do, they will go to the historical table and they will search where you are there previously, from where to where you have transferred, everything they will collect by using this kind of information. For example, if you see polices or anyone, any CBI, CID officers, if they want to start investigation, they will ask these kind of questions. Where were there? Where he shifted? Whose friends? What are those friends? What they are doing? And which locations and what days he has changed everything, right? So something like that, this information also will capture. Okay. So this is called a SCD type 2. So this is the concept. Based on the concept only, all projects are running nowadays. Now the projects are there and running successfully and using this data and developing their business means because of this concept only, data warehousing concept, and that too this SCDs. This SCDs will play a major role in the projects. Okay. So here mainly you will have two types of tables. Mainly two types of tables. One is fact table and dimension table. Okay. In fact table, you will have a transaction details, and the dimensions you will have a information details. For example, if you take the bank, okay, when you go to the bank, in bank you don't have any account. Okay, if you don't have any account, at that time what will happen? To get account, what you have to do? First of all, you have to fill the form, right? When you are filling the form, what will you do? You will be updating. I mean, you will be inserting all the details like what is your name, what is your Aadhaar card number, mobile number, everything. Because Aadhaar card number, mobile number are very, very unique. Correct? But same Aadhaar card will have anyone? No. Name might have same name, but Aadhaar card will be different. Something like that. First, when you go to the bank, they will give you a form and you have to fill up those details. And if they give you, if you give them, then what will happen? They will insert these details into their database, right? At that time, the data will be stored under customer table. There will be a table they will create. Under that, through web application, they will store the information under customer dimension table. After that, okay, once the data is inserted into the table, and then they will give you the one account number, right? That account number will be unique always, correct? And whenever you deposit the money, okay, or withdraw the money, right? The transactions will be generated, right? The customer will be entered in once, but transactions every month, every day you will be doing. You will be through Google Pay or directly bank to bank. You will be doing the transactions. So the transactions will generate every day, and the account information will be once whenever you are creating an account number. And in case if you want to update any address or anything, at that time only you will go to the bank, you will ask for the updations. Otherwise, you will not ask. Correct? So that is the reason the name also they have given it like this. Slowly changing dimension. Slowly changing dimension means what? It will not update the data frequently. It will update the data very rarely. Slowly means what? Very slow. It will update. That is what the dimension data will be stored like this. But transactional data, it is not like that. Transactional data, every minute it may update or it may create new transactions. If you go to the bank, so in bank, right, millions of data will be generated every day. How? You will have a bank account and you will be connected to phone pay or Google Pay. If you go a tea shop, you will be having a tea and scanning the phone pay or Google Pay and paying the money. Then the 6 rupees also it will generate a transaction ID. Same way, if you go to the shop, somewhere on tiffin center, you will be having a tiffin and you will be paying the money. At that time, again it will generate a unique ID. That unique ID is where it will be generated in your bank through the via you are paying money phone pay, but the account transaction that will be created at the bank. So if you go to the log, if you search phone pay 6 rupees for tea shop, something you will have all details. So that millions of transactions will be generated, that data will be generated. For them to maintain this kind of a cloud under well generally. So the data will be drastically changing like this. And this information is very, very useful to know the business. How, for example, in the same bank, you will have a different types of loans. Mudra loan, RD, fixed deposit, and different car loans and everything, right? So if they have introduced one new scheme and the people are taking that scheme, means what? That scheme is good for common people and as well as banking also, right? Otherwise, how they will get an interest? If more people taking the loans, then they will get more benefit. They are depending on the interest only. Correct? How they are depending? How they are making money? Means they are making money on putting us interest, and the amount will be they are spending in different project. That is different. So like this information. So the scheme, everything will be decided by having this data. So business is running by having this data, and they will understand how my business is running after month, after year, after quarter, whatever. Okay. So they will take the decisions. So to do that, we have to use this kind of SCD type 1, type 2 to make the data available in readable format and reporting. Okay. So this is the thing actually. Now, when we go to the here, where I am just going back to Snowflake now. Okay, if I go to the database, under database here, if you see, okay, so in this line item, hmm, this is your fact table. Orders, this is your fact table. How do I know? There is no fact or something. There is no differentiate. Yes, this is fact table or dimension mean. By seeing the data, I will understand this is a fact table. And the customer is your dimension table. Nation is your dimension table. Part is your dimension table. Part supplies is your dimension table. Region is dimension table. Something like this. So under this again, you have a different database here. Under this also you have a table. Same. Wait. Let me check into this one. All are same tables. I see it here. That's it here. So many tables are there. So using these so many tables, we can create our project as well. Okay. So these things can be used to create the tables. Okay. So web sales, websites, and blah blah things we do have a many here. So remember this schema: TPCDS, SF, and TCL. Okay. So go forward. We will be using this schema to create project in our schema. Okay. Whatever we created a schema, right? We will use the schema here. So now, okay. So using this, we will be creating. So here we have a which is a table. This is customer table. Under customer table, let's see what data we have. Why this much time taking today? Produced rows 38 millions. See this query ID. Warehouse computer small x. Now if you see types of customer ID, surrogate key. This is your SK means surrogate key. This is ID. Okay. And you have a data here. Ship to data SK. Something dates are there. Flag, month, something, some product, countries. Okay. Email IDs, something like this we have, right? And we do have some different names. Okay. Now here, what you guys has to do. Now the task is what you guys has to do. That is the bigger task. Okay. So here each and every person, okay, you have to I'll ping you this table. Okay. This is the schema. Copy and keep it this schema. Take this and paste it in WhatsApp jacket. Okay. What you have to do is, okay, in this column, here you have a column. Okay. What is this column? Is what is the column of this one? Don't not able to say that column. Let me see. Email ID address. Customer email ID address. So here I have a data like this, right? This is my data, correct? I have a data like this. So when you are sourcing from this table and you have to create, okay, table name as stage underscore customer, okay, create a table and I want all the columns at the end, okay, using this column, okay, you have to create first name, okay, and middle name and last name and okay, domain. These three columns and insert GMT timestamp. So these 5 columns, first name, middle name, last name, domain and GMT. So using this before the dot, first whatever you have, that is your first name and this is your last name. And in case if you have anything like this, okay, dot ABC. Now this will become a middle name. First name, middle name, last name. And here this is first name and this is last name. No middle name, right? Now after that, whatever the data is there after the @ that is your domain name. That is your domain name here. Okay, domain name. Then the data you have to store under customer table, stage customer table. So under this, Okay, under this table, you have how many columns? Describe table name. This is the today's task for you guys. Okay, almost how many records are there? Okay, 18 records are there. After 18th record, 19, 20, 21, 25, total you have to create a 4 records, right? Sorry, 5 columns, these 5 columns, and using this email ID address, what you have to do? You have to create a, sorry, 18. Using this, you have to create these many columns, and this is your insert empty timestamp when you have loaded the data. Okay, so you have to split the data like this using the first name, middle name, and store the data under this stage customer table. Okay, this is your stage customer table, and once it is done, you need to load the data into dimension customer table in your schema. Okay, first load the data and then load the data into this table after derivations are done. Okay, so this is your requirement. Any question here?
Could you please explain one more time?
Which one? The same scenario?
This question.
Okay. So in this table, okay, you have the data, right? In this table, customer table. In this customer table, using this customer table, you have to load the data into first stage customer table. And you have your own database, right? I have created my own database. Now what I have to do? I have to create a stage customer, all the columns from the source columns, and including that you have to add these many columns in your table. It means 18 plus total 18, right? So when you are creating a table, you have to use these many columns. These many columns, then C underscore first name, C underscore middle name, C underscore last name, and C underscore domain name, and insert EMD timestamp. These columns needs to be additionally added in your stage table. Okay, this is your new stage customer table. Okay, this is new customer table. And once the data loaded in this table, then after that immediately what you need to do, you have to create a same dim customer table. There you have to load the data into this table. Okay, clear, Narayana? If you have any doubt, later also you can connect with the Jakir and he will help you as well. So in the existing table, I have a column still here. Now I am telling you that create a stage table, include these new columns as well, and create the logic to load the data as I explained here. Okay, first name, middle name, and last name. So whatever here. Okay. Any questions here? Anyone? Hello. If no questions, then we are good to close the call for today. If it is done, okay, and there is one more small requirement, okay. Here if you see, okay, salutation, first name, last name. Here we have, right? You need to combine these two, okay, like this. As a, no, don't take this one, this one. First name and last name, combine these two to like this. Another column you need to add, that is a full name, okay, like this. Under full name, create a below one more column full name and use first name and full name, combine these two, okay. So here you have a null, right? You should not get any null, it should be words, that's it. And George, forward, Janet, Flex, you need to get one single column, these two data under single column with the space, one space, okay. The requirement, actual requirement is what I was telling, like this. Mr. space something like this. Mr. space George Crawford, something like this. This is the actual requirement. In case here miss you have, in miss you don't have any dot, right? I need dot as well. Means Miss Tammy Brown. Tammy Brown. It means like this, right? This miss.